tayo daw ay icebreaker muna. So can I request everybody to stand up? I-chant lang natin ulit yung TBTI Philippines. Yung lang yun. Di ba? May mga ganon-ganon. So makaka-stretch na rin kayo doon. So remember again, left hand over right hand. Oo. Kasi yung B dapat, yung nakikita nung tumitingin sa'yo. Okay? Sige. Ikaw na ako na lang ikaw mag-action, ako yung magsasabi. Okay, everybody, please stand up para makita kayong lahat. Kasi pipicturean kayo ni Ben. Okay? Ready na tayo? Okay, practice muna, dahan-dahan. So, left hand over right hand. That's letter T. Recognizable dito. Letter T yan. Pa-slide nyo. Letter B. Correct. That's letter B. Balik sa taas. Letter T. And then Tama. Okay? And then, of course, ganyan lang. Philippines. Okay? Dapat sabay-sabay para maganda tayo sa video ni Ben. Okay? So, shall we do that? Ready? T, B, T, I, Philippines! Very good. Pero isa pa. Practice pa lang daw, sabi ni Ben. Sabayan niyo ako sa TBTI. Okay? Let's do that again. T, B, T, I, Philippines! Okay, thank you very much. Yan, gising na lahat.
Thank you, Ma'am Alice. Ngayon, naka-exercise na sila. Gising na. So, please, sit down. Take your seats. And let's start with the afternoon session. Pasensya na kayo, medyo parang nagmamarathon tayo, no? We have so much to take up. We have so much to discuss. Okay, this afternoon, allow me to wear 2 hats. Huwag kayong malilito, ano? Because I would be moderating the session, but at the same time, I would still be the representative of the Food and Agriculture Organization para sa opening remarks about this special session. Okay, so before we start, I would like to call on my 2 colleagues who would be our presenters this afternoon, Mr. Len Garces, the FAO Technical Assistance for Fisheries and NAPOA SSF. And the next one is our partner, okay, from the NGO sector who's been involved so much also in the development of the NPOA SSF, Miss Jamie Tabing from Rare Philippines. Yay! Palakpakan naman natin sila para medyo ganado sila at saka malalaman namin na gising pa pala kayo, okay? Sige. So please take your seat, Jam. So we have a very simple agenda actually for this special session. We have 1 hour and 15 minutes. Okay? So we are supposed to have 4 topics. We will provide you an update. We will show you a video about the development of the NPOA SSF, the process. And then we will provide you with an update of what happened. Yesterday, I forgot to mention it, but yesterday was actually the 1st year anniversary of the National Plan of Action for Small-Scale Fisheries in the Philippines. Palakpakan naman natin mga sarili. 1-year anniversary na po, October 21, 2024 noong nilaunch ang ating NPOA SSF. So 1-year-old na po tayo at mamaya ipipresent sa inyo ng ating 2 kulig kung ano na bang nangyari mula last year sa 1 taon na nakaraan. Ano na ba yung nangyari sa implementation natin sa NPOA SSF? Titingnan natin if it is even related, relevant, or is it addressing yung mga issues na mga napag-usapan na natin mula kahapon. Ang dami na po natin mga napag-usapan ng mga issues and concerns related to our small-scale fishers. Let's see whether this NPOA SSF is relevant, is responsive, or is it even rational? Kanina yung mga terminologies na narinig ko. Okay, so now that's being a moderator. Now I'll shift because I'm going to give the opening message on behalf of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. Okay? So change gear muna ako. Okay, friends and colleagues from the academe and research institutions, SSF advocates, fisher folks, NGOs and CSOs, NGAs and LGUs, mga shortcuts lahat yun, naiintindihan nyo anong ibig sabihin nung lahat na yon. If we have friends from the private sector, good afternoon to everyone. First, once again, I would like to extend to you the apology of Dr. Lionel Dabadi who cannot make it. Pero yung picture niya, yung picture nakarating na sa kanya kahapon and he's very happy to see all of you. Alam niya na nire-represent namin siya dito and he's giving you all the best wishes para sa event na ito. So we would like to thank the organizers, TBTI, and of course the host organization, MSU System, for allowing us to have this special session. No? Isang special session na, and we're very happy that you have allowed us to have this, to share to you what the Food and Agriculture Organization, in partnership with various national government agencies and LGUs, led by the Department of Agriculture, Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, and the Department of Interior and Local Government, Bureau of Local Government Supervision. Partnership po ito yung nagli-lead, BFAR and DILG, BLGS, because the fisheries sector, the technical part is for BFAR, pero alam naman natin na yung municipal fisheries is saklaw ng DILG kasi yung municipal waters natin under DILG. So both agencies agreed to lead the development and implementation of the NPOA SSF. So thank you so much. You have been very supportive. It is encouraging to see a diverse and committed group of stakeholders like you, all of you, I see it now, united by a common goal, and that is ensuring the sustainable and inclusive development of our fisheries sector, especially the small-scale fisheries sector. Okay? We appreciate the effort of the various higher education institutions, all of you, majority of you, who are part of TBTI for organizing this second Philippine Small-Scale Fisheries National Summit Symposium. In the Philippines, small-scale account for over 85% of the country's fishing workforce. We have been hearing that from so many presentations and messages. 85% of the country's fishing workforce, and they contribute significantly to national fish production, especially in the municipal waters. These fisheries sustain local economies, provide food for millions, and preserve cultural heritage in our coastal and island communities. So kung makikita po ninyo, marami pong SDG na mga targets ang naa-address when we work to also address the issues of small-scale fisheries. Small-scale fisheries are the backbone of our coastal communities, supporting millions of Filipinos through livelihoods, through foods and livelihood and culture. They contribute nearly 50% of the country's total fish production, playing a key role in ensuring food security and reducing poverty in rural areas. So ilang SDG na yon? Marami na, na? Beyond numbers, small-scale fishers are custodians of our marine ecosystem. Somebody mentioned it actually among our presenters kanina, yung mga discussants natin. They are the custodians of our marine ecosystems, often using traditional, sustainable practices passed down from generations. They embody local knowledge that is invaluable in managing our coastal and marine resources, especially in the face of climate change, habitat degradation, and overfishing. Beyond production, small-scale fisheries are central to the social fabric of rural areas. They create jobs not only for fishers, but also for processors, vendors, transport workers, traders, many of whom are women. Kaya one of the projects of FAO being implemented here in Northern Mindanao, kaya madalas po ako actually dito sa Northern Mindanao, is in strengthening and empowering our women fisher folk. These fisheries are also critical for food security, supplying affordable, protein-rich food to both urban and rural populations. But despite their contribution, small-scale fishers often face systemic challenges. Kanina yung mga question, actually, mga systemic yung mga problema at mga issues natin. I remember during the training when we were about to start the development of NAPOA SSF, Ma'am Alice was our resource person, and she mentioned that the fisheries problem actually is a wicked problem. We solve one, maya-maya nandyan na naman. Kasi the question I have in my mind since the beginning, I am also a fisheries graduate and I have been in the fisheries sector, working in the development work for so long. And the question in my mind is, how come ang daming intervention, ang dami na nating projects, ang dami na nating pag-uusap, bakit ang fisheries sector remains to be the poorest among the sectors in the Philippines? Di ba? Pero medyo nagkaroon ako ng konting, parang dadagdagan yung understanding ko why. We should not stop. Because nga, fisheries issues and concerns is a wicked problem, are wicked problems. So, despite their contribution, they are still, well, nasa laylayan, sabi nga ni Kadodoy kanina, often face systemic changes like limited access to resources and markets, inadequate infrastructure and support services, vulnerability to climate change and environmental degradation, weak enforcement of rights and tenure over traditional fishing grounds, which have been mentioned and discussed and presented since yesterday sa ating mga presentation, lalo na kaninang umaga sa ating mga panel discussions. This is where our collective responsibility comes in. As government agencies, we must ensure that policies, bago lang natin pinag-usapan, are not only inclusive but also implementable at the community level. And I heard that when it was being presented and asked by some of us in the audience. As NGOs and civil society, we can amplify voices from the grassroots and provide capacity building and advocacy support. As the private sector, kung sakaling may private sector dito, we have an opportunity to build fairer and more sustainable value chains, or what we call, in my other advocacy, may isa pa akong advocacy, which is equitable fisheries supply chain or equitable value chain. That is also very important. As academia, or from the academic sector, your research can guide evidence-based decision-making, di ba? Makaagham na araw, sabi ni Ma'am kanina, kaya sabi ko, nag-iisip ako, ano ba kaya yung aming parang ending din or tagline, makaisda na araw na makaagham. Okay, na araw sa ating lahat. Okay, so science is needed. But we have to always bridge the gap. And sabi nga ni Sir kanina na itong TBTI is a very good platform where science and yung application para ma-feel, ramdam ng mga fisher folks yung resulta ng science ay ma-bridge, okay? So, and to our fisher folk organizations, okay, may dalawa tayong fisher folk dito, your leadership, actually you are leaders, you're considered leaders in this sector, is key to shaping the future of coastal governance. So maraming salamat sa inyong presensya at walang kapagurang pag-a-attend din sa mga diskusyon na katulad nito dahil importante po na marinig natin ang inyong mga boses. The future of our seas is a shared responsibility. If we truly want to achieve sustainable development and resilient coastal communities, we must place small-scale fisheries at the center of our efforts, not at the margins. Let us work together, government, civil society, private sector, fisheries themselves, to invest in small-scale fisheries, ensure inclusive governance, and uphold the rights and dignity of those who have long sustained us from the sea. Together, let us champion policies, partnerships, and investments that uphold equity, resilience, and sustainability for our small-scale fishers and ecosystems they depend on. I was looking at the program, and yung pagkakagrupo ng ating mga sessions is parang tiningnan talaga na lahat ng aspeto, okay? na related sa small-scale fisheries, nandun po siya, tackle siya. So, I'm very happy for that. Okay, so, saan na ba ako? Today, we must recognize that supporting small-scale fisheries is not just an economic or environmental issue. It is a matter of social justice. It is about empowering communities, safeguarding our oceans, and securing a sustainable future for generations to come. We all agree that the SSF sector is crucial and it plays an important role in many ways. Sabi nga natin, in food security, in providing livelihood opportunities, in preserving cultural values and practices, in the conservation of our fisheries, coastal and marine resources, among others. Today, we wish to highlight this sector, even in this special session, that we will wish to highlight this sector that we all agree is often underrepresented, yet plays a crucial role in our national life. Our small-scale fisheries, which is the focus of the symposium. This special session is also very timely because, as I mentioned earlier, yesterday was the first year anniversary of the NPOA SSF. And because it was officially launched on October 21, 2024. So 1 year after, we are here, and thank you once again for giving us this special session with the objectives of continually raising awareness about the existence of our NPOA SSF, and nakakataba po ng puso na marami sa inyo ang natuwa dahil meron na tayong NPOA SSF. And kanina nga, kahit sa kay Sir Ronald na presentation, na pagsasalita kanina, and many others, narinig ko na, mini-mention na yung existence ng ating NPOA SSF. So for that, we are very happy because that is what we want to do. That's why we are here. Meron pong communications plan, may communication strategy ang NPOA SSF. And one of those is being able to share what we are doing in implementing the NPOA SSF for greater uptake, para yung parang increased adoption of what is there. Because the implementation of this is not only by one organization, not only BFAR, not only BLGS. Okay. So, ang session objective natin, number 1, is to strengthen awareness-raising efforts to encourage support in the implementation of the NPOA SSF by various stakeholders. And number 2, to present various initiatives led by BFAR with technical support from FAO in support of the SSF guidelines. Okay? We developed NPOA SSF because that is the localization or local implementation of the SSF guidelines, which is the global instrument, if you are aware about that. So, marami po. Okay, so maraming salamat at sama-sama naman nating itaguyod ang kinabukasan ng ating maliliit na mangingisda at karagatan. Sabi nga nila, kayang-kaya kung sama-sama. Magandang hapon po sa lahat. Okay. So, we have a video presentation which will show you ano po yung nangyari during the implementation at kung ano ba itong NPOA SSF. But before I would ask them to play that, I would like to recognize members of the NPOA SSF who have come from various sectors and they are here, no? So, si Kafredel Muwid, representing SSF and the IP community, has been a very active part of during the consultation, and siya po yung representative, isa sa mga representatives ng SSF. Kafredel, please stand up. Okay. Of course, from the NGO and CSO, we have our ever-supportive NGO na Rare Philippines, Dennis Calvan. Member po ito sila ng National Technical Working Group. And of course, another very active member in the community, no, nitong ating ginagawa, Ma'am Sonny de Guzman, okay? Of course, representing also research and academe. And of course, we have the Executive Director of TBTI, both representing TBTI and UPV as member of the National Technical Working Group for NPOA SSF, Professor Vice Chancellor Alice Ferrer. So sila po yun. Umalis na si yung representative ng DILG, but DILG is a partner of BFAR in leading the development of FAO-SSF. Pero umalis na siya, sila po, DILG. And some of you who may be here have been part of the consultation process, like Kadodoy has been part of the consultation process, if I remember right. He was in the Cebu consultation process, workshop sa Cebu noong for the Visayas, okay? Si Jam din, of course, yung kasama natin dito. Sen, ewan ko kung sino pa yung mga naka-attend sa inyo sa mga consultation meetings natin during the development, okay? This special session has been planned for and organized by BFAR and FAO together. Unfortunately, our BFAR colleagues are not here today, and so we are both representing them also. They're supposed to have a presentation, pero gagawin na nila yung presentation ng ating colleagues sa BFAR, but the presentation came from them, the input came from them, because we will be providing updates of what BFAR has been doing since last year. Okay? And of course, the video presentation has been prepared by BFAR as well. Wala na yung DILG, so hindi ko na siya ma-recognize. Okay, so at this point in time, sit back, relax, and let's watch the FAO-SSF video. Please.
Sa mga baybayin ng ating bansa, nagsisimula ang araw ng mga mangingisda. Ang kanilang pagsisikap at dedikasyon ay ang bumubuhay sa ating ekonomiya at sa ating mga hapagkainan. Ngayong araw, bibigyan natin ng pansin ang isang mahalagang milestone para sa kanila, ang paglulunsad ng National Plan of Action for Small-Scale Fisheries o NPOA-SSF. Ang NPOA-SSF ay isang sistematikong plano na naglalayong tugunan ang mga hamon ng maliliit na mga isda sa Pilipinas. Alinsunod ito sa Voluntary Guidelines for Securing Sustainable Small-Scale Fisheries ng FAO na layunin mapanatili ang seguridad sa pagkain at kalikasan. Ito'y nakabatay sa 3 yugto: Initiation, Development at Implementation. Nitong nakaraang Oktubre, ginanap ang launching ng National Plan of Action for Small-Scale Fisheries sa pangunguna ng Department of Agriculture, Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources at ng Food and Agriculture Organization sa lungsod ng Quezon City. Ang proseso ng NPOA-SSF ay nagsimula sa malawakang konsultasyon na sinundan ng pagbuo ng isang strategic framework. Ngayon, tayo ay nasa yugto ng pagpapatupad at pagbabantay sa resulta ng mga aktibidad upang matiyak ang tagumpay nito.
Through the NPOA-SSF, we are not only addressing the immediate needs of our small-scale fishers, but also contributing to a broader global effort to achieve these critical goals. We witness the fruits of our labor come to life as we commence the implementation of the strategic framework for small-scale fisheries in the country.
Isa itong hakbang upang mas mapalapit ang ating mga mangingisda sa mga programang tunay na makakatulong sa kanilang kabuhayan. Ang NPOA-SSF ay nakatuon din sa pagpapalakas ng pangangalaga ng yamang dagat sa pamamagitan ng pagsuporta sa komunidad ng mga mangingisda upang maipasa ang yaman sa susunod na henerasyon. Malaki ang papel ng maliliit na mangingisda sa seguridad ng pagkain at ekonomiya ng Pilipinas. Ngunit maraming hamon ang kanilang hinaharap, mula sa kahirapan, pagkasira ng kalikasan, hanggang sa pabago-bago ng klima.
Malaki ang hamon sa aming kabuhayan, no? Na mga artisanong mangingisda, sabihin na natin na small scales fisherfolk in the Philippines, no? Kasi maliban sa alam naman natin na ang mga isda natin ngayon medyo nauubos na rin sa mga gilid ng mga baybayin natin, mga ilog, dahil nasisira na rin yung ating mga ecosystem tulad ng mga mangroves, mga seagrasses. Kaya napakalaking bagay itong programang ito.
Ang pagbabagong hatid ng NPOA-SSF ay makikita sa maayos na pamamahala ng ating mga yamang dagat. Layunin nitong itaguyod ang balanse sa pagitan ng produksyon at konserbasyon. Mula sa simpleng mga gamit tulad ng lambat at bangka hanggang sa makabagong teknolohiya, sama-sama nating hinuhubog ang mas ligtas at mas masaganang hinaharap para sa sektor ng pangisdaan. Hindi lamang kalikasan ang protektado sa pamamagitan ng NPOA-SSF. Binibigyan din nito ng pagkakataon ang mga mangingisda na paunlarin ang kanilang kabuhayan mula sa pangingisda hanggang sa merkado. Ayon sa datos, 40% ng supply ng isda sa bansa ay mula sa maliliit na mangingisda. Ipinapakita nito ang kanilang mahalagang papel sa sektor ng pagkain at ekonomiya. Ang NPOA-SSF ay hindi lamang tungkol sa mga batas at polisiya. Ito'y tungkol sa pakikinig sa boses ng mga mangingisda, kabilang na ang mga katutubo at kababaihan. Ang kanilang kaalaman at karanasan ang nagsisilbing gabay sa pagbuo ng mas angkop na mga programa.
Isang oportunidad po na maging bahagi ng makasaysayang planong ito na kauna-unahan dito sa ating bansa, ang National Plan of Action. Tinignan namin itong isang napakalaking oportunidad sapagkat nabibigyang pansin na may mga mangingisdang katutubo. Lingid po sa kaalaman ng lahat na mayroon po tayong ancestral waters na nakapaloob sa kanilang mga ancestral domain, kailang lupain at karagatang ninuno.
Binigyang diin sa mga konsultasyon ang kahalagahan ng partisipasyon ng iba't ibang sektor, lalo na ng kababaihan at mga indigenous peoples. Ang empowerment na hatid ng NPOA-SSF ay nagbibigay lakas sa bawat isa upang maging bahagi ng solusyon at tagapagtaguyod ng kanilang mga karapatan. Sa pamamagitan ng mga pagsasanay, natutunan ng mga mangingisda ang tamang pangangalaga sa likas na yaman habang pinapalakas ang kanilang kabuhayan. Ang NPOA-SSF ay produkto ng malawakang konsultasyon sa pagitan ng gobyerno, mga NGO, international partners at mismong mga mangingisda. Ang mga sektor na ito ay sama-samang nagtrabaho upang mabuo ang isang plano na sumasalamin sa tunay na pangangailangan ng mga komunidad.
Bale, unang-una, ang ginawa po namin ay yung malawakang konsultasyon na sa pagtutulungan ng Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, together with the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. Gumawa ho kami ng 6 na konsultasyon mula sa iba't ibang rehiyon ng Pilipinas. And then yung output ng mga consultations, yun po ay ni-review ng ating National Technical Working Group, kasama dito ang BFAR, Academe at saka mga development partners and NGO. And kaya nabuo itong NPOA-SSF.
And by having a consensus, it helps to strengthen the message that is implemented at the national level, whether it be in Philippines or in other countries. So the fishery sectors is something very important. It is a major source of food, a major source of livelihood, but also a major heritage, a human heritage, and unfortunately, it is also facing a lot of challenges. And by implementing the sustainable guidelines for small-scale fishers, we help them change the way they cope with those disasters.
Sa suporta ng mga ahensya tulad ng BFAR, FAO at iba pang mga partner, ang NPOA-SSF ay isang patunay ng lakas ng pagkakaisa para sa adhikain ng ating bayan. Ang pakikilahok ng lokal na pamahalaan ay susi sa tagumpay ng programang ito, lalo na sa mga lugar na nangangailangan ng masusing pangangalaga sa kalikasan. Makikita rin natin ang pagtutok sa kapasidad ng mga mangingisda mula sa teknikal na kaalaman hanggang sa mas matibay na proteksyon ng kanilang mga karapatan. Sa tulong ng teknolohiya at modernisasyon, binibigyan natin ng pagkakataon ang ating mga mangingisda na umangat habang pinangangalagaan ang ating kalikasan. Ang NPOA-SSF ay isang panawagan sa ating lahat. Panahon na upang suportahan ang ating mga mangingisda at protektahan ang ating mga likas na yaman.
Today, we stand on the brink of a new dawn for the Philippine fisheries sector. It is with immense pride and honor that I welcome you to the hard launch of the National Plan of Action for Small-Scale Fisheries in POA SSF 2025 to 2035, a groundbreaking initiative not only for our nation but for the entire Asian region. This moment, this gathering symbolizes more than just the unveiling of a plan. It marks a profound shift in how we view our oceans, our fisher folk, and the communities that have thrived on these waters for generations.
Higit pa sa isang plano ang NPOA-SSF. Ito ay isang pangako sa mga mangingisda na hindi sila pababayaan ng kanilang bayan.
Okay, thank you very much. So I hope nag-enjoy kayo. Yun po yung at least part ng development ng NPOA-SSF natin or NPOA-SSF. At this point in time, I would like to request my colleague, Mr. Len Garces, our FAO Technical Consultant for Fisheries and the NPOA-SSF, to provide us with some updates about the implementation of those activities that has been indicated in our NPOA-SSF on behalf of BFAR and FAO. Okay, Len?
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you, Ma'am Becky. And in the spirit of partnership and collaboration, I'm doing this update on behalf of our colleagues at BFAR in Central Office. And before start the presentation, yung video po na nakikita nyo, available po sa sa YouTube yan. Just search DA-BFAR NPOA SSF launching. Pwede nyo gamitin po sa inyong mga instruction tsaka mga seminars similar to this. And I would like to thank the Mindanao State University for hosting the second symposium for the small-scale fisheries, as well as TBTI for allowing us to have a special session and provide you an update on what has been done after the NPOA-SSF has been launched. Also in Iloilo last year during the first symposium. Okay, no, I think I'll skip this one. Becky have mentioned this already. There would be more or less 3 presentations, and this is the first one. It's just a matter of updates on the implementation process. I'm just showing this and mentioning that the SSF guidelines is grounded on the 5 pillars, and our plenary speakers this morning were mentioning good governance and resource management, social development, including safety at sea, occupational health and safety, value chains, post-harvesting trade, and the intention here is to ensure local and export income benefits the SSF, and then gender equality and social inclusion, and disaster risk and climate change. And Becky also mentioned earlier that the NPOA-SSF is also aligned in delivering the Sustainable Development Goals, and I just would like to underline SDG 2 in ending hunger and eliminating food insecurity, as well as SDG 13 and 14 on innovation capacity to promote equitable, resilient, and inclusive fisheries and aquaculture. As a matter of history, Becky and colleagues, I think including Ma'am Sonny, started the project in 2020, and then it was another followed up by another global support from FAO. But the focus at that time was, as mentioned by Becky, it's on gender and food security. And luckily, when they went to attend a global learning exchange, they were able to convince FAO headquarters to support the development of NPOA SSF for the Philippines starting in 2023. And doon na po ako na-engage ng project. And the development process of the NPOA was done under the third project in that list. And currently, we have a new support from FAO in terms of enhancing equitable, climate resilient, and sustainable SSF through the implementation of the SSF guidelines. Just briefly, also on the FAO perspective, ito po yung mga main key outputs. Is a training needs assessment on the BGSSF, and this was led by Ma'am Sonny. And then there was also a study on food security and nutrition, access to social protection assessment, and several technical support for the LGUs in the project sites in northern Mindanao. And the fifth and most important output of the previous three projects was the development of the NAPOA SSF. And I would like to thank our colleague from DILG earlier for mentioning the NAPOA SSF, which they were part of the co-development of this NAPOA SSF together with the various stakeholders. So those were the study area during the first three projects, but now we are shifting to engage with the Inter-LGU Alliance in Misamis Occidental as well as Misamis Oriental, and also taking advantage with the engagement with the FMA 9, Fisheries Management Area 9 in the northern Mindanao within the Bohol Sea. So this part of the presentation came from BFAR. So the development process, as shown in the video, started with the NTWG formation in 2023. And then the consultation process were done between August of 2023 until April 2024. And then a validation workshop together with the NTWG and the launching last year, October 2024. Just to show you the extent of the regions and FMA covered by the consultations, basically it covered all regions in the Philippines. It has also have some flavor of the Fisheries Management Area 9 and 12. And I am happy to inform you that BARM was also present in our consultation in General Santos in April 2024. Just some photos to show. These were some of the photos during the consultations. Ito po ang if I'm not mistaken, there were kasi may mga paulit-ulit diyan na nag-attend, pero there were I think around 250 stakeholders that contributed to the development of the NAPOA SSF from the 6 consultation workshops. And the participants were not only from the government agencies, they were also from partner agencies, including DOLE, DSWD, NCIP, and NAPSI. So the NAPOA SSF was developed not only by FAO and BFAR. There are several partners, government, and including NGOs and the academe, RARE and the TBTI network. And these are just some photos during the launching. You have seen the video earlier. The photo on the right side was the special session that we conducted during the first symposium in Iloilo. And we reported there the development process of the National Plan of Action. Okay, the scope of the this NAPO SSF is consistent with the definition that was provided by TBTI on the definition of small scale yesterday. And I would just like to add that does not only cover small scale municipal capture fisheries, both inland and marine, but also includes small scale aquaculture and other vulnerable individuals across the value chain. I think I skipped this. Becky have already mentioned this earlier, that the purpose is for a framework for all actors to support and provide some interventions in upliftment of the small-scale fishers and the small-scale fisheries. So starting April last year, we have conducted some workshops with RARE to develop the communications plan as well as branding of the NPO SSF. And this is our logo. Pinagbotohan to ng NTWG and the BFAR. So this will be included. This has been included in the final version of the NPOA document. We also had some meetings with the BFAR looking at the work plans, and also for BFAR, they started reaching out or providing the socialization with the NAPSI, with the DSWD, NCIP, also DILG, and we had a partners dialogue in September 2025 to plan our activities for the coming year in 2026. We also, back to that partners dialogue, we also have a workshop to initiate the development of the monitoring and evaluation for the NAPOA SSF. And we were able to engage a professor from University of the Philippines in Los Baños, Mr. Paul Ramirez, to help us craft the MNE plan together with BFAR and various NGA partners. So for BFAR, they said they will be continuing their engagement with the relevant agencies. They also have plans to sign an MOU with the key government agencies that will be involved in the implementation of the NAPOA, and engagement of development partners. And we are hoping to organize next year partners dialogue and also private sector engagement to look for who will provide some funding support in the various interventions or programs and projects outlined in the plan. I just would like to, before I end, I would just like to give an update also on the current project of FAO that we are doing together with BFAR. So our plans is also, I mentioned already the MEL framework. We will also support and work with BFAR in terms of socialization and learning exchanges, and we are happy that we are part of this TBTI and providing you an update during this session. And for our work in Northern Mindanao, we are doing a co-management study wherein we're looking at ways on how the FMA 9 framework plan would be able to support the implementation of the NAPOA. We are also working with NAMRIA to provide guidance on how to do the delineation of the municipal waters within the Iligan Bay Alliance as well as within Makahalar Bay Alliance. And we are looking forward to working with BFAR and the ILG in terms of the rollout of the fisheries compliance audit in Misamis Occidental and Misamis Oriental. And there will still be continuing support and conduct of trainings and capacity building, focus on the women organization that were set up under the previous 3 projects, and engagement with our NTWG, BFAR, and hopefully our research agencies also. And I'm looking forward to partnering with the DOST PICARD. Sorry for the PICARD. To be able to, for us to socialize the NAPO SSF with DOST also. I think naka-hide pala. We will be sharing the QR codes of the 3 documents, the NPO SSF document itself, the programs and projects per thematic area, and the third one is the briefer. Maraming salamat po and thank you.
Thank you very much, Len. Siguro i-unhide na lang natin yun, no, para ma-present natin. We will flash later on the QR code so that you can access, no, ma-download ninyo yung NPO-SSF document with the PAPs or plans and programs para meron po kayong idea. And we would appreciate it if makita ninyo na meron kayong gustong parang you can do something about one of those activities or strategies na nakalagay doon. We can have the conversation and let's see how we can collaborate and support each other. Before we proceed and before I call on the next presenter, I was requested to announce that the poster presentation will be downstairs and it will happen immediately after this plenary session. So, ngayon mukhang nagja-judge na yung mga judges natin doon, kaya yung mga iba nating kasamahan bumaba na. But then, after this would be the parang poster presentation. Okay? So, at this point in time, I would like to call on Ms. Jamie Tabing from RARE Philippines, who would be sharing to us how the NAPOA SSF is being localized, at least from their RARE.
Maraming salamat, Ma'am Becky and Sir Len. Magandang araw po sa ating lahat. Medyo oras de peligro. And I hope you can still be with me in the next few minutes. Again, ako po si Jam Tabing, the Manager for Policy and Government Engagement mula sa RARE Philippines. And we will be together in the next 10 to 15 minutes. So the localization of the National Plan of Action for Small-Scale Fisheries, or the NPO-SSF, will explore on how we localize the NPO-SSF, turning national policy into practical, day-to-day action at the LGU level. At this session, we will look at how this happens through the 3 key enablers, some of which you may already heard this morning or yesterday. So the first is the Fisheries Compliance Audit, which measures how well the LGUs uphold the Fisheries Code. Second would be the Coastal Resource Management Plan, wherein the template is being co-developed with the RARE together with the National Anti-Poverty Commission. Artisanal Fisher Folk Sectoral Council is developing to guide local implementation. And third, through the Coastal 500, it is RARE's initiative, which is a global network of mayors and local leaders, helping sustain this action through peer learning, accountability, and shared progress. So these tools make the Fisheries Code and the local government code work better at the community level, where sustainable, inclusive fisheries truly begin. Under the local government code, LGUs are empowered to formulate and enforce local environmental policies and ordinances, which are the backbone of decentralization. The Fisheries Code extends this to the fisheries within 15 kilometers of the coast, authorizing LGUs to enact ordinances, regulate fishing, establish MPAs, among others. LGUs, therefore, are the frontline managers of municipal waters. The roles of local government codes, the roles of the local government under the Fisheries Compliance Audit are categorized into three main responsibilities, such as resource management, law enforcement, and policy making and oversight. To measure performance, the DILG's Fisheries Compliance Code provides a structured scorecard of 12 indicators covering the policy, farm seas, CRM plans, and enforcement, among others. And it helps the LGUs identify the strengths and gaps, guiding planning and technical support to achieve the goals of the NPOA SSF. So as mentioned by UNFAO, the NPOA SSF is the Philippines framework that localizes UNFAO's SSF guidelines. It promotes rights, welfare, and participation of small-scale fishers and supports sustainable governance and development of coastal resources. Think of it as the translation between national commitments and practical LGU work. By aligning with FISCA indicators, the NPOA SSF turns national principles into measurable LGU outputs. Coastal resource management is the LGU's main strategy for sustainable use of coastal and marine resources, which is also anchored in the Fisheries Code and guided by the ecosystem-based and participatory principles. NAPC-AFSC, together with RARE, is creating a CRM plan template that integrates the NPOA SSF priorities and FISCA indicators. It will be endorsed through a NAPC-AFSC resolution, giving LGUs a practical, nationally recognized guide for planning and monitoring. The NPOA SSF covers 5 priorities, which is also presented a while ago by Sir Len. So these provide the structure for both FISCA indicators and the CRM plan template, making national and local plans speak the same language. So how do we localize the NPOA SSF? First, building foundations, organizing your farm seas, updating multiple registries, and of course, delineating municipal waters. Protection, strengthening the MPAs, strengthening local ordinances, strengthening bantay dagat enforcement. Livelihoods, upgrade landing sites, for example, improving post-harvest, linking markets, and promoting decent work. And of course, resilience, integrating climate and DRM actions, early warnings, and integrating no-build zones. FISCA measures progress on all 4 fronts. Now, how do we scale these actions? At RARE, we have the Coastal 500. So Coastal 500 is a global network of mayors and local leaders committed to championing small-scale fisheries. Members make public commitments, share progress, and exchange solutions, turning peer learning into policy action. For the Philippines, it reinforces the LGU accountability under the Fisheries Compliance Audit, alignment with the NPOA SSF, and of course, recognition of good local governance. Linking it all together, these initiatives complement each other. The NPOA SSF sets the direction. The CRM plan guides the planning. The Fisheries Compliance Audit measures results. And Coastal 500 sustains momentum. Now, what do we want to achieve? For the NGAs, for the national government agencies, to support the development of the CRM plan template and plan to align future coastal management efforts with the NPOA SSF. For LGUs, to use the insights from the fisheries compliance audit to guide your budgets, ordinances, and enforcement priorities. And of course, for LGUs to join Coastal 500 or build alliances, to network, to share lessons, to track progress, and of course, to inspire other local leaders. Yun lang po, at maraming salamat at ika nga ni Ka Dodoy, fish be with you all.
Thank you very much, Jam. And the last presentation will be a video presentation because Miss Jennifer G, who's supposed to come here, nag-commit na sila from FAO headquarters galing sa Rome, kaso hindi nakarating, okay? So, please play the video. It would be the gender lens, okay? In the context of parang NPOA SSF implementation, yung work ng FAO. Please play the video. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jennifer G. I'm the gender team lead for the Fisheries and Aquaculture Division of the FAO, working here in Rome headquarters, and very happy to be joining you today, albeit virtually, with a presentation on mainstreaming gender through the SSF guidelines. So looking forward to sharing that with you. As we get started, and because I have everyone's ear, I'm going to take a moment just to refresh about a couple of definitions, because this is very important, not just for understanding the presentation today, but also for contextualizing our work. So, the first point is the difference between sex and gender. Sex is the biological difference between men and women, and it's concerned with physical characteristics of people's bodies. Generally, the differences between the sexes we find in a consistent fashion around the world and across time. Gender, on the other hand, refers to the roles, activities, and responsibilities that are connected with being a particular gender in a given society at a certain point in time. These roles are learned, they can change over time, they have wide variations within and between cultures, and they should be analyzed as much as any other socioeconomic variable. Up next, we have gender equality. And so this concept is focused around the enjoyment of women and men of equal conditions, treatment, and opportunities for the realization of their potential in order for them to contribute to and benefit from economic, social, cultural, and political development. It means that women's and men's rights, responsibilities, and opportunities are not dependent on whether they're born male or female. And it's also important to note that we don't intend that everybody should be conducting the same roles, be involved in the same things. It's that it should be up to people to choose and also to have the freedom to express their gender roles as they feel fit. The next point is about intersectionality. So intersectionality is an understanding of the overlapping identities of any one person. So this includes things like gender, race, class, age, ability, sexual orientation, and nationality. And this really impacts both the experiences of advantages, but then also disadvantages that everybody face. Intersectional theory sheds light on various ways these factors of identity impact one person or another person in different ways and shape their unique experiences. When we're considering intersectionalities, there are a few points of reflexivity I'd like to just go over with you. So these are some points of reflection. So in terms of the reflex, so this is the first point where we ask people to consider, and ourselves, to consider our own biases, our beliefs, our judgments, and practices, and how these shape our worldview and how we interact with the world. We also need to be aware of those of our organization. We can't just rely on our own opinions about others, but we need to understand the lens that we're filtering how we see things through. This affects how we do our work and also how we connect with others. The next point is about dignity, choice, and autonomy. So considering the dignity, choice, and autonomy of the people that we're working with, and the fact that this can't be decided for others. A few questions to ask yourself around these points include who has independence and who does not? Who shares the point of view and who doesn't? Who has full control over how they live their lives and who does not? The next couple of points consider diverse knowledges, and I think this is something that's really well emphasized generally within the SSF work. But looking at and learning from those who are generally not given importance or considered as experts. And so this can be things like where we consider traditional knowledge. We can ask ourselves questions like, how do we know what we think we know? Who told us this? Who has not been consulted? And the next point is about intersection within identities. So intersecting identities means that an individual's identity consists of multiple intersecting factors, such as we mentioned before, gender, race, ethnicity, class, and religious belief. And it's important to note that all of these are not necessarily visible. So we can ask ourselves the following questions when we want to make sure we're considering this. What are the intersecting identities of the people we're engaging with? And who's missing? Who have we overlooked? Or who have we not included? So back onto more familiar territory now. Looking at women's participation in NSSF. So we know that women play a huge role. They make up about 45% of people engaged in the SSF sector. But most women are likely to be involved informally and in positions with low or no remuneration, and their activities are often under-recognized. Women are more likely to be in vulnerable employment, and this data comes from a recent FAO study looking very broadly at women within agricultural sectors. So this includes SSF, but also includes more broadly agriculture, fisheries, aquaculture, all of these sectors. So if we look along the value chain in the different nodes, in the secondary sectors or secondary nodes, such as activities like processing, we see fewer women than men working for wages or salaries. So often they're doing piecework. So that means they're being paid by piece of shrimp, unit of shrimp, peeled, for example, things like that, but not with a steady fixed wage. Women account for 40% of all people working in pay or subsistence jobs in small-scale fisheries, and 50% of workers in post-harvest areas. In male-dominated parts of the value chain, such as aquaculture, women are more likely to provide unpaid family labor, and their work remains hidden. And finally, this is a very interesting point to note. Women hold only 15% on average of full-time positions in aquaculture and fisheries primary sectors, and yet they hold 71% of the part-time jobs in processing. So this is a massive difference. And women are generally found in more vulnerable employment circumstances. Further, women receive lower remuneration, have lower productivity, and have a higher care burden. And so this image you see on the right addresses the time burden, the time deficit women face. So on average, women spend 4.2 hours a day on unpaid domestic work. This is a global average, while men spend only 1.9 hours. The gender gap in land productivity between female and male managed farms of the same size is 24%. On average, women earn 82 cents of the dollar for men in wage employment across all agricultural sectors. Within the processing node of aquaculture and fisheries value chains, women are frequently paid less than men, even for conducting the same identical activity in the same place.